So there's about 3 things that we're going to establish in this particular video. And when I'm talking about this particular video, I'm talking about the idea of how do you position yourself as a personal brand. Now, with that in mind, as a branding specialist, I've come across so many different people, so many different brands wanting to know, number one, what branding is in the first place, but equally also, how can it actually help them? Well, when you understand how to position yourself as a personal brand, you're going to understand how branding can actually help you in the first place and the true impact that it actually has. Now, my name is Tanya and I'm the founder of the TNG Designs Group Limited. And as I shared with you a minute ago, as a branding specialist, I typically come across questions just like this, but equally also come across things that people are really wanting to get to grips with. And I want to share this information with you now. And in this particular video, where we're going to talk about how to position yourself as a personal brand, there's a couple of takeaways that you're going to get from this particular video. Number one, you're going to know what branding is and is not. Number two, you're going to understand what the impact is. And number three, you're also going to understand what key things that you really need to establish in order to make sure that you are positioning yourself in the right kind of a way that suits your personal brand in the first place. Now, I share content just like this on my channel, and I want to make sure as many people as possible get to grips with what branding is and again is not. But not only that, I also want to make sure as many people know and understand that they are not only more than what they see, but equally representation is super key and important for anybody to have and understand in order to make sure that their brand elevates to the levels that they should be leveling up to, but equally in order to make sure that they are standing out, showing up in a way that is always going to be congruent to their standards and beliefs, simply because they and also you are examples of a way forward. And I want to make sure that as many people know and understand that being an example of a way forward means that you are an example of how somebody can move from one state to the next. And that's important, especially in this day and age, and especially if you want to make sure that you are standing out and showing up in a way that's congruent to your standards and beliefs, but also reaching out to an audience that you really want to connect with rather than feel that you have to connect with. So with that in mind, make sure you stick around to the very end of the video, because I also share with you some key principles that will help you to make sure that you're continuously taking action, because I'm not all about just sharing information. I want to make sure that you're actually taking action with it and actually doing something with it. And also, I want you to do this next thing. That's to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because I'm super aware of the views that I get and absolutely grateful for them. So please don't get me wrong about that. However, I want to make sure that you're doing this next thing, which is making sure that you go ahead and subscribe to this channel so I can not only boost my subscribers, but equally make sure I continuously put out content just like this and then some, to make sure the awareness of branding gets heard and recognized, but equally to also make sure that as many people as possible know and understand that they are more than what they see and are examples of a way forward. So with that in mind, folks, let's get stuck into this video. So as I shared with you, we're going to understand, okay, first of all, what branding is and is not. Know that branding is not a logo. Know that it is also not a website. Also know that it is not just all your stationery, your printed stationery or anything like that. It is all of those and more. Branding, think of it like this, right? Branding is the idea of, imagine a house or a building, right? The building has a really cool, colorful door. That's your logo. As soon as you open the door, you're going to walk through a hallway and you'll probably see some pictures on the wall. You're going to enter into a living room, which may have a few comfy sofas in there and a really cool, comfy blanket, and maybe your favorite mug, and equally all your other pictures or trinkets that make your house a home. That's essentially your brand. It's all the things that you want to be known for. It's all the messages that you're putting out there. And equally, it's all the values, the vision, and the purpose that you have that drive you to doing what it is that you're doing. That's your brand. The outcomes, such as your logo, your website, your social media content, anything else that comes from you, those are the outcomes. They are not solely your brand. They help to make it up. They help to drive the message across. However, they are not solely your brand. Your brand is way more. Now, keep that in mind, okay? Because with that in mind, you're then also going to need to understand that, you know what, with these key things that you're going to make sure that you're establishing, you also do so in a way that pays respect to what your brand is, but equally also allows you to always remain congruent to your standards and your beliefs. Okay, so now the first thing, I've just been talking about it a lot so far, and it is your brand power of 3, aka your VPV, aka your values, your purpose, and your vision. Now, with all 3 of those things, I call them your brand power of 3 because they are super important to the functionality of your brand. Without them, your brand will constantly keep hitting brick walls. It won't make sense. You won't understand the moves that you need to make purposeful. And equally, you won't understand the type of people that you need to be connecting with. When you understand your VPV, when you know what your VPV elements are, you know how to do all those things that I just mentioned and more. Equally, you start standing in a way that is taller, that is more certain, and that also delivers a hell of a lot more clarity. Now, when you have all those things in mind, the perception of who you are changes. The drive of why you're doing what you're doing changes. Because now you understand your brand. You understand you. You understand what it is that you're doing and how it is that you really, really do help people. All by establishing your VPV. And that brings me nicely onto the second point you need to make sure that you're establishing. And that's establishing your unique human point, otherwise known as your UHP. Now, typically you understand USP, right? So what is your unique selling point? This is your unique human point. We take the word selling and replace it with human, because human is what you're bringing to the table. Human is what people are going to know and understand. And human is the thing that will help to influence the trust that you are sharing, the information that you are sharing, and equally the value-based information that you are also sharing. So bringing your unique human point to the table or to your audience, establishing what that is the key part to making sure that when you're positioning your personal brand, you're doing so in a way that will always sit well with your standards and your beliefs, okay? When you understand your values, you know what you stand for, you know what you're about, you know what puts a natural smile on your face. When you're understanding your vision and your purpose, you know how to make sure that with that unique human point, you're helping others to hear and understand and equally listen to the real reason why you're doing what you're doing. You're helping them to understand your story. You're helping them to resonate with your story, more importantly. You're helping them to also understand that, do you know what, I get your problem. I hear your problem. And maybe I've also experienced your problem. But this is what's now happened to make sure that I got out of that problem, and I want you to do the same. I've got out of that problem, and I want you to make sure that you are moving. When you're positioning your brand, positioning your personal brand, you are helping others to move. I know I would have shared this before, right? In my other episodes of this particular series. You're helping others to move forwards, and you're helping others to know and understand that there is a way forwards, more importantly. So your unique human point, and equally what it is that you want to be known for, will help your audience to move. They'll make that move because they get it. They get that you get them. And that's the key to making that better connection work even better for yourself and for them too. Now, with that in mind, the third thing that you want to establish, especially when it comes to driving home the awareness or building or understanding how to position your personal brand, you've got to understand that with this third thing in mind, this is how you start making those better connections. And what I'm talking about is understanding or establishing who your audience really, really is. And fun fact, by the way, this is a common mistake that a lot of brands make, especially when they're trying to establish what their fundamentals or their foundation for their brand is. They feel that they've got to, oh my gosh, work with the world. But no, you don't. You and your brand, personal or business or corporate, however you want to identify it as, your personal brand, and especially in this respect, is not for everybody. You are not for everybody. The reason why you're drawing awareness to the specific cause is not for everybody. For example, your message might be geared towards women. That means that men won't resonate, or maybe they will resonate with it. However, your message wasn't meant for them. A lot of the times with personal brands, you're always going to draw on an experience that you personally have experienced. So think to yourself, Where were you when you were experiencing that problem? What was your state of mind? What was your problem? What was that pain that you really wanted to get out of in order for you to be able to make that move forwards? When you know and understand what that is, that's the message that you should be sharing. And when you know and understand who you are as a person, it may not be geared specifically towards your gender. It might be who you are as a professional person, or who you are as a person in your area, or who you are in state, meaning sad, emotional, traumatized, however you want to phrase it, versus to feeling super happy, super proud, super peaceful, super free from what you experienced in the past. That person that you were, who is that person? That's who you should be addressing. That's who your real audience should actually be. And equally, this thing that you are wanting to drive home, this awareness that you are trying to create, how is it this person can relate to that awareness? Think about that part, right? How is it that they can not only relate to that awareness, but equally, how is it that they can also have a level of pain that they also resonate with, or a problem that they also resonate with, but also want to help to be free from, or want to help others to be free from? How are you tapping into their consciousness to help them to understand that, yeah, this person's for me, this brand is for me. I really want to work with or even understand them even more because I get this story. I get this story. So, when it comes to understanding how to position your personal brand, you've got to make sure that you are tapping into these key things, all for those very reasons. So establish your VPV, understand what your unique human point is, and equally also understand who are you really speaking to, aka who is your audience. When you get to grips with all those three things, you get to understand how do you start positioning yourself as a personal brand, whether it be on social media or any other online digital platform, all the way through to any live and in-person situation as well. How are you making sure that you're establishing these three particular elements for yourself so that you can start positioning your personal brand, so you start creating that level of authority that allows people to build the trust in you, build the trust in the information that you are sharing, and equally want to connect with you so you can start making those better connections, and so you can start looking for the results that you're actually looking for, and the results that actually equally also make sense to you. How are you establishing these things? So I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this video really resonated with you, and with these things in mind, make sure that you go ahead and click on the link that's in the description box below this particular video, because when you do so, yes, you'll get asked for just a few details, but you're also going to get fired over to you some key principles. These key principles are branding principles that will allow you to start taking action even more so, and keep leveling up within your brand, and keep also understanding what your VPV should actually be for yourself. Who are the people that you really want to really connect with? But equally, who are the people that you also want to share that message with? And when I'm talking about sharing this message, you're going to start positioning your personal brand in a way that's going to be congruent to your standards and your beliefs. But you can only do so if you start taking action with it. So go ahead and click on the link that's in the description box below. That's the first link. Then make sure you do this next part, which is going ahead and like and subscribing to this channel, because this message doesn't stop here. There is more to it. There is more that I want to share with you, and equally there is more that I have already shared on this particular channel. So go and check the other videos out. Understand that with positioning, you are making sure that you are helping others to move by them recognizing your authority, by them recognizing your credibility, and also by them recognizing that you have a brand that not only deserves attention, but equally also the recognition around the awareness that you are building for your cause, for who it is that you are, and why it is that you are really doing what it is that you're doing. So folks, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you on the other side.